Hello everyone and welcome. My name's Samarin. I hope you guys are having a fantastic crack-a-lacking day. Well, today is the day we begin our build-up for the Bahrain Grand Prix this weekend. And with that further said and due, subscribe, like, comment and share. And let's kick it off. So we are going to be talking about the 20-1 driver and team championship F1 2024 predictions. So yeah, subscribe, like, comment and share as always. So yeah, now you can see the predictions there. I have got 20th is Kevin Magnussen. I think he's going to struggle throughout the season. He's going to be having one of them seasons like last season where he basically is not doing the best. So yeah, I think he's going to be doing a bit worse than normal, but that's why his Haas F1 team probably not going to be focusing this season. Even their team principal, the newly promoted team principal, has said Haas will be last. So yeah, I think that is going to be unfortunate for Haas. So yeah, so Kevin Magnussen, I put 20th. Now 19th we have Logie Sargent. Now Logie Sargent, as you know, had a very poor season last season. But rest assured, he's going to have a probably equally as bad, but because of the performance of the Williams this season, I reckon that he won't be the worst. Next up we have is Guanyu Zhou Guanyu, the Chinese F1 driver, of course, probably waiting a long time for his chance to race at his home country in China. Not raced there in 5 years, of course, so it's going to be interesting to see what he has to offer, of course. And yeah, obviously I think Kick Sauber as a whole, obviously Stake F1 as a whole, I think they're going to be having a poor season. It's like one of them things, isn't it? You build up the team, all the colours, all the hype around the team, but then the team itself is absolute poor on track. So that's me. I'm predicting though Stay Kick Sauber F1 team. I'm predicting one of your drivers, Guanyu Zhou, as 18th. Next up is the pair of Gasly and Ocon. Now Alpine altogether, I'm predicting they will have a absolute poor season, and it just shows, really, don't it? So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do in terms of I don't know, it's interesting to see what they'll do in terms of the season. So of course the season itself is going to be a long season, 24 races, and I think Alpine will be doing absolutely poor this season. So yeah, next up is the best out of the two Haas F1 team drivers, and that's Nico Hülkenberg. Obviously he's going to have probably one of them races anywhere he'll qualify really higher and just miss out on the points, or he might just get a point, who knows. But I'm predicting a weird season for Haas F1 in general, but I reckon Hülkenberg himself will probably get a point or two. He ain't gonna pull out any trees, I don't think, so yeah. Next up is Alexander Albon. So I reckon Albon himself is going to have a good season. He's going to have one of them seasons where he wants to get high up in the table. I reckon he's going to get himself a point or two as well. It's going to be very close between the teams at the bottom, but I reckon Albon with his pace throughout the season and few upgrades throughout, like in big chunks throughout the season for Williams, I reckon he's going to be doing well. So I'm predicting Albon 14th. That's why. Next up is the next Kick Sauber F1 team, or just Steak F1 team. So yeah, Bottas, I'm predicting it's going to be 13th. Now, Bottas is going to be one of them drivers who is on his armchair every day. He's looking good, don't get me wrong, with his mullet, but he will not be driving any good. He's like one of them drivers like Kimi Raikkonen was when he was at the tail end of his career at Ferrari and in F1 in general. He was basically coasting round, not really giving a bother of getting loads of points or anything. So I reckon he's just enjoying life around the paddock. He's just enjoying F1 as it is, and I reckon he's going to be one of them drivers who is going to be probably just coasting around in the season, probably retire at the end of this season, because obviously his contract is up at the end of this season. So I don't know, but Bottas, I think 1 or 2 more years and he'll probably retire. Next up is Daniel Ricciardo, and I think that it's going to be interesting to see what Ricciardo does, because don't get me wrong, he was doing good for the Visa Cash App RB last season, also used to be known as AlphaTauri or AlphaTauri. So yeah, I reckon Ricciardo's going to have a good season this season, but as you can see in the predictions, not as good as Tsunoda. So I reckon Ricciardo is just he's got to pull up trees if he wants to get into the Red Bull scene. So yeah, I'm predicting a 12th for Danny Rick. Next up, 11th is Lance Stroll. So Lance Stroll, let's talk about Lance. He done wonders for Racing Point back in the day. Well, I should say back in the day, about 5 years ago or so, when he qualified second for Racing Point at Turkey, and that basically allowed him to shine on the F1 scene. Unfortunately, last season he hasn't shown as much as his teammate Fernando Alonso, but yeah, I reckon 11th is a solid season for Lance Stroll. Obviously, he might have wanted to go higher in the table, but you can't really win much if the team itself ain't the fastest. So yeah. Next up is my top 10 now. And it is Yuki Tsunoda. And he is going to be a rapid, the Japanese youngster who has pulled out trees before for AlphaTauri. Now, Visa Cash RB F1 team. So yeah, I reckon Tsunoda is going to have a really good season. He'll grab a load of points throughout the season. I reckon Visa Cash F1, Visa Cash RB F1 is going to be having the same upgrades, I reckon, throughout the season as the sister team, of course, Red Bull. And I reckon throughout the season he'll pull up trees. He'll do wonders though for his team, of course, for Visa Cash RB F1 team. And yeah, I reckon he'll do a fantastic job this season. Look out for Tsunoda. Next up is George Russell. Now I think in general Mercedes, they've never been as good as 2021, and they tried to hype the season up, but knowing that Hamilton is going to be leaving at the end of the season, I reckon that both Mercedes will have equally as poor season as ever, and I reckon both of them, Russell and Hamilton, will finish 8th and 9th of the season. Well, in my predictions of the season. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the dynamic works with Mercedes, because Hamilton was the ultimate driver for Mercedes. They focused all their energy on him, but as the season goes, as the time progresses throughout this year, Russell will get the treatment, and I wonder if that isn't already happening as we speak. But yeah, if Russell don't get the treatment soon, I reckon he'll go, because his contract ends next season, so he won't be long gone before his season contract ends, really, at the end of 2025. So after the Mercedes duo, we got Oscar Piastri, who's going to have a wonderful season this season. In my opinion, I think he will be the one to watch this season. He has improved in the McLaren tenfold. He has won a race last season, even if it's a sprint, he still won it. And yeah, he had done wonders for McLaren on his debut season, of course. So I reckon it's going to be tight for the teams, the top 5 teams, and I reckon it's going to be Oscar Piastri in 7th. Now number 6 is going to be Fernando Alonso. So hear me out. We are going to be having Fernando Alonso in 6th place. So yeah, Fernando Alonso is going to be having one of them seasons. Okay, he's going to probably reach the podium 3, 4, 5 times this season. I think they're going to have an upgrade at the start, middle and the end of the year. Aston Martin, I reckon that they need to focus on the they're going to focus on the upgrades sparingly, restrictively, I should say. So yeah, I reckon it's going to be a tight race in Bahrain for everyone. But in terms of the season, I reckon Alonso is going to have one of them seasons where he's 3rd, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 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 4th. So he's going to have he'll have some races where he won't basically have a fast car. So yeah, I think it's going to be a tough season for Fernando. Next up is Clayton. Sorry for the accent, but Carlos Sainz, yeah, he's going to pull up trees as well. He's going to do all he can to impress the teams around him, to basically impress teams like Mercedes, because maybe Sainz goes to Mercedes. Who knows? And it's going to be interesting to see what Sainz does this season in Ferrari. I see Mercedes. But yeah, Sainz he has a big year this year, Sainz. So yeah. Next up is Lando Norris. Now Lando Norris, Lando Norris. He won't win a race this year because most of the races will be Max's. But Lando is going to have a great season this season. He's going to have loads of podiums, I reckon. And yeah, things are looking good for McLaren, because I predicted them 4th for Norris and 7th for Piastri. So yeah, I reckon Norris is going to do wonders. He's going to pull up trees. He's going to absolutely be the best of the rest in terms of the midfield. So I reckon McLaren as a whole is going to have a wonderful time. Next up we have is Sergio Perez. Now this will cause big upset in the camp of Red Bull because they're putting all their eggs in the basket of Sergio Perez, as well as obviously the GOAT Max Verstappen. But in terms of Perez, I reckon this third place could cause him to lose his seat and go, well, let's be fair, he's losing his seat regardless of what happens. But I reckon Ricciardo will replace Perez. Perez will go either Mercedes or he'll probably retire. I can't see him anywhere else other than Mercedes, because Mercedes is probably the best of the rest in terms of a top seat in F1. So yeah, I reckon Perez third. Second, obviously, is Leclerc. Now Leclerc. I reckon he's going to have a wonderful season, Leclerc. And I think that Leclerc is going to have one of them seasons where he's begging the team of Ferrari not to make mistakes, and I reckon he'll get his wish. I reckon he'll make less mistakes. I think the team will make less mistakes, and because the team has said it's more drivable, the Ferrari this year, I reckon a lot of work has been done throughout the winter to make this Ferrari even better than last season. And so the top dog, the top ball is gotta be Max Verstappen. Now the GOAT himself, Max Verstappen, winning 3 titles on the bounce, will be coming into this season very strong. He says the Red Bull in 2024 is going to be the best, and it's going to be, he didn't say it's going to be the best, let's be fair, he didn't say the best, he said it was more suited to him. So that means he's going to have a wonderful season. He was 1.1 second ahead of the next driver in testing in one of the test sessions. So if he's not trying there, I mean, I hate to know what the softest tyre lap time's going to be. But yeah, he's going to have a wonderful season, Max. He's going to win his 4th title easy, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So yeah, that is my 20-1 drivers predictions, and my top 5 predictions, well, top 8 as you can see there. It is Red Bull first, Ferrari second, Mercedes third, Aston Martin 4th, McLaren 5th, 6th is Williams, Stake is 7th, and Haas is 8th. Of course, I haven't obviously put the Visa Cash RB in there. I kind of forgot when I was making this. So yeah, I reckon Visa Cash F1, Visa Cash RB F1. I reckon they'll slot in between Aston Martin, between McLaren and Williams. I reckon they're going to have a solid season. Visa Cash RB F1, and it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with. So into the next section of today's podcast, we are going to be discussing my predictions for the race prediction and qualifying prediction and the new in-race predictions. So let's begin with the in-race prediction first. We got there will be a safety car, which is highly likely in the start of the season. There will be a terrible pit stop, which obviously I reckon as well. Mercedes will argue on the radio, so I reckon that's probably the more out there prediction. So yeah, now we begin with the qualifying prediction, top 5. I'm predicting Verstappen on top step of the podium. well, on pole. Then Perez second, Leclerc third, Sainz fourth, and Lando Norris fifth. As you see, no Mercedes in the top 5. So I reckon they both are going to have a poor start to the season, Mercedes, as you can see. So in my race prediction, top 5, I'm obviously predicting the GOAT Verstappen as the top Red Bull driver in the race. So I'm predicting him to finish first, Leclerc second, Sainz third, Perez fourth, and Norris fifth. I reckon Norris won't have the pace of the Red Bull and Ferrari, so I reckon he'll probably stay fifth. Perez might just get that just terrible pit stop really, and the two Ferrari duo of Sainz and Leclerc are going to be one of the teams to look out for as they put pressure on Red Bull. But can they? Who knows? And then, as you can see, the point system, I get a point if I get a prediction right, any of them. I get 2 points if I get the quali and the final race finish right, and I get 3 points if I get everything correct. So I will be making note of this every week as a prediction or podcast comes out, basically before every race. So make sure you look out for that. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting Bahrain Grand Prix this weekend. I cannot wait. So that is that for today. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and I will, of course, be seeing you guys next time when we will find out the first race winner of the Formula 1 season. Thank you, and diolch.